Brook, nice little pass to center for Braxton Whitehead. He'll poke that one across the line. Here he is towards the goal, and he scores! He's finally able to pick up his first goal of the season. Bedard back to the line. Brown in the spot. Vallis scores! Gloria Vallis, his first career hat trick.
Feist, left circle, shoots and it's blocked. Rebound, scores! Connor Bedard between his legs. What a nasty goal by number 98.
Oh, baby. What looked like a nothing play. Bedard goes between the legs and he goes short side on Alexander.
Redirected down the ice, a breakaway opportunity. Brinkley to the net. Backhander. Great save by keeper on Brinkley. Now Gustafson, the former Red Deer Rebel, clears it to the line, not out. Down low, Collard is all alone in front, and he dinks him right out of his jockstrap. What a goal by Connor Bedard!
Welcome to Pats Cast, the unofficial Regina Pats podcast, with your hosts Chris Clark and Kevin Shaw. All right, Kevin, it's a busy week. You nailed it right on the head. 2-1-1-0.
Yeah, I guess I did. I didn't know if I was over. I was like, I don't know. I was shooting for some positive vibes, and it happened.
Yeah, I had one listener say 3 wins, really, and then he messaged me after Saturday night and said, "Oh, Kevin nailed it, so far." And I said, "Hey, 3 wins is still on the table. The 3 wins are still on the table."
Yeah, the Sunday game didn't know what to expect, so
yeah,
it was there, but
they had a chance. They made it. They made a game of it. So we'll start at the beginning. Edmonton, we were both of us. We didn't say it, but like, you have to win this game. Like, this has to be a minimum a win.
They needed to score some goals, and they did in the end. But wow,
yeah, they scored the goals. I mean, that I'm not surprised they scored 7. Gave up 4, but it certainly got chippy. I think that's maybe a little bit of the story of the game. It was kind of getting ugly there at the end.
It was a close game to start. It was 2-2 halfway through the game, and then the Pats kind of took over at the end of the second into the third.
Yeah, I think just their depth kind of just showed, right? Like, Edmonton doesn't have any top end. They don't have any depth, and the Pats just kind of just forced their will on them in the end. But
Edmonton, Bedard.
Yeah, the team, the coaches, it sounded like we're not happy with Bedard, racking up some points. But hey, it is what it is. Like, it's not like it was a blowout, right? It wasn't like a 10-1 game and they're still putting out PP1 kind of thing. Like, it was still a relatively close game. So, and there's
it was 7-4 with like 7 minutes left or something. That was around 7 minutes left. 7-4.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, that's only 3 goals. Anything's possible. It's Western Hockey, but you never know.
Yeah, and I mean, so it got chippy there, and you've seen a guy like Michaels just stand up for his teammates and step in, and yeah, because the team, I don't know if they were hunting Bedard, but they weren't happy with him at all. That's for sure.
Definitely, they were after him. They were after him pretty much the whole night. And the one goal that he passed over to Vallis in the slot there, all 4 guys converged on Bedard. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before.
Yeah, right. And it was nice to see, like I said, the scoring. Vallis get a hat trick. Nice. That's awesome for him.
Oh, for sure. He deserves it. He's been playing really well lately. So
yeah, definitely.
It was about time.
Yeah, and Whitehead getting off the schneid, getting his first. I mean, he had a real nice play to score that goal.
Yeah, and Brook, what was that? Was Brook's first point of the season?
Yeah, I think so.
That
Brook's
was
first.
That was nice. It was nice to get him off to a start after his first game where he had the minor penalty parade.
Yeah, get on the proper side of the score sheet.
Yeah,
he picked up 2 points that game, so he's got to chip in. He's a 20. He's expected to. I mean, I don't think we're expecting him to score a ton of goals, but he's got to chip in some here.
Chip in and help lead a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. Unfortunately, the new guy Shantz, he took an ugly hit. It was weird. He almost got hit like head on. Like, the guy hit him, like, he kind of was falling down, and he hit him in the head, obviously, but it was like he kind of folded, and like, I wasn't at the game. I was watching it on online at home, but they said there was blood there and stuff, so I don't know what happened, like if this visor cut him or what, but he hasn't played since. You said he took the warm-up in Swift Current and it's
That's what
questionable.
he was a question mark. So
Okay,
I'm assuming he took the warm up.
so he was questionable, but he hasn't played since, so that's unfortunate. Anything else from that game?
No, not really. It was a much needed win, and it was nice. Wasn't that Sim's sixth win? It's tying a career high.
Yes, I
Six
believe
wins?
so.
That was his sixth win of the season, tying his career high of last year, which was nice. Didn't take him 30 games or whatever to win six this year.
Yeah.
So his numbers aren't the greatest in that game. He only had made 18 saves on 22 shots, but got the win, got the sixth win, which is nice. Now he can work on getting 7.
Yeah, definitely. I thought it's kind of like one of those games where you're just like, you're not getting a lot of action, and maybe he let in a couple late that, maybe he wanted back, maybe kind of sort of,
Yeah, it was one of those games. Yeah.
Yeah. But so going into Swift, I thought this was a winnable game, but unfortunately, you can't win a game playing 40 minutes. I think that's pretty much the story of the game right there. I missed the first period, but I watched the second and it was just like, it was not good at all. And then in the third, okay, let's show up and try to make a game of it.
Yeah, I agree. Like the first period I thought it was all Pats. Second period, total opposite. I can't describe it. And then the third period, Bedard kind of rose to the challenge and got the game tied. But
yeah. And he even had some chances late to win it, like he did last time in Swift Current, scoring with what was it, like 5 seconds to go?
yeah, it was late, and then the overtime goal.
Yeah, like
There was lots of shots in that game too. 79 combined shots, quite a bit.
I think that second period was just turnovers. It was just some bad decisions. So just bad stuff. And just some poor decisions. I mean, John Paddock references that. I asked him a question about trying to find some consistency, because they've had some ups and downs, played good against some good teams and not so good against, good teams as well. But he's like, you can find the consistency. You just gotta get rid of those poor decisions. You just gotta make better decisions. You gotta be more mature, like hockey mature, right? He says that's what his term he used, and they just didn't have that in Swift Current in that second period.
Yeah, they got to be more sure of things. Like, make sure the puck gets out, not just chip it towards the line, hoping it gets out. Got to make sure, chip the pucks off the glass if necessary, kind of thing. But yeah, have to remember they're just kids.
Yeah, no, for sure, right? And you've seen some of that in Saskatoon. We'll get to that when we get there. But I mean, you get a point out of it. You could have. I mean, overtime's overtime. But it was tough. I would have really liked to see a win there, for sure.
Yeah, it would have been nice. At least it's not a division opponent, but it's a conference opponent, but it's not a division opponent, which was okay.
Yeah,
but it's always nice to get a win against Swift Current.
Yeah,
especially
definitely.
in Swift Current. But
yeah,
next time
we'll get him next time. Yeah. I mean, you look at the stats. Bateman at -4. Like, you're 20. He's got to be a little better than that. Don't want to. I'm not one to calling out players or anything, but I mean, you just look at the stats and it's like
it sticks out.
-4 sticks out. -4, right?
That proves he played a lot too, probably. So.
It is it is. That's the thing. He's on the ice a lot, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's a couple forwards that were -2, but I mean, they don't play nearly as much, right?
Yeah.
So. Yeah. So then you go into Red Deer and you're like, ooh, they can't play like that and expect to even have a chance to win. I mean, Red Deer was coming off 3 losses in a row after their hot start with 15 in a row. They went into Winnipeg, lost both, and then Brandon got them in a shootout Friday afternoon.
And Brandon was playing shorthanded that game too.
And Brandon was short bench, yeah. And I didn't even realize they played that afternoon. You're like, oh, Red Deer's lost 3 in a row. And I was like, didn't they just only play 2 in Winnipeg? And you're like, no, they just played in Brandon this afternoon. I was like, oh geez, I totally missed that on the schedule, didn't see it. So, Red Deer's limping in to Regina here, and we're like, oh, is there a sliver of hope? I don't know if we were like expecting a win, or I think we were maybe expecting a chance to win, not to get blown out.
Expecting a close game. Like they've had a lot of close games lately against Red Deer. Even like the last 2 or 3 years, it's been 9 or so games that it's 2 goals or less. So
yeah, and a bunch of those with empty netters. So
yeah,
they've played with Red Deer, like we said, that's one of their best games in Red Deer earlier in the season. They lost, what was it? I don't know what was score was 3-2 or something like that. Like
3 or 4-2.
Yeah,
rough hand.
And so you're thinking, okay, they're coming here. They're on their 4 and 5. The Pats are on 3 and 4. So both teams.
There really wasn't an excuse.
No, there wasn't. Both teams are pretty tired, and I mean they had travel. Pats had travel, but I mean. Yeah, the Pats just came out and I mean, they look good. It was the second period there, they really stepped on it, right? Like,
oh yeah, it was
2-1 going to the second, and then you get 2 more early in the second, and then that, get a couple more late, and then that's the game right there.
Yeah, the power play was clicking that game. It went 3 for 3 against Red Deer. Red Deer was one of the top penalty killing teams at that time. I don't know what they're at now, but I think they were like one of the top 2 or 3. They're 7th now, but they were one of the top ones, and Pats took advantage. I'm still kind of baffled at that game. How I really wasn't expecting a 6-2 win, one way or the other.
Yeah, I don't think anybody was, right?
No, not at all.
So, and I mean, and like we've talked about their goaltending, it's been top notch all year. And to score 6 goals on them is, I don't know.
6 goals on 20 shots. Pat's had 20 shots. They scored 6 times on Kelsey, which was, it's mind blowing just seeing his stats the whole year. I don't know, it was unexpected.
Yeah, like I don't think Red Deer's given up 6 goals in a game. Like I haven't looked at, but with their
I don't think so.
No, with their goaltending stats, you can't see them giving up many goals, right? Like,
yeah.
So I mean that was nice. That was huge, right? That was huge right there. So, get some confidence. I know. Then you got to go to Saskatoon. I mean, it was the Pats' 4th and 5 nights. Like that's going to be tough. But you could tell the first, maybe 10 minutes or so wasn't good. Saskatoon was they had the jump, and then the Pats kind of brought it back. They looked better in the second half of the first period, and I don't know, but it was just some bad decisions again, turnovers, not getting the pucks out. Like the power play goal Saskatoon scored, I can't remember which exact one it was. It was the second goal to make it 2-0. There was 2 forwards behind both defensemen in front of Sim. Like it's the power play. How do you let 2 guys behind you?
Yeah, like, that was interesting.
That was just some bad decisions, and like the first goal was just a bad pass. I think it was. Again, we've seen a couple bad passes by the D-men, and that's what John is referencing. They just got to be smarter on the ice, just make smarter plays.
100%. They got to be sure. They just can't
just willy-nilly throw it.
Blind passes all over the place, not looking to where they're passing and stuff. It's cost them a lot of goals this year.
Yeah,
makes the goalie's stats not look very good, but you look at the Connor Bedard goal, like Hal makes a great play, like the defenseman too, Saskatoon. He just kind of he throws it up the middle, but he thinks he can flip it out. But Hal makes a great play to jump and grab it, and then Bedard's alone behind the defenseman, and he makes. Yeah, you got behind right in there.
Yeah. Because Saskatoon's doing the same thing. They're all okay. He chipped it out. Everybody's jailbreak. Let's go. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, boom, Bedard's behind him. Well, that's the last guy you want to see behind you.
Exactly. Right? It's in the net.
So, and then the power play gets a goal early in the third, and you've got a chance. You got a chance here. And then it just couldn't finish it off. Just getting into overtime, get a point there or something. I would have been thrilled with a point there.
A bad penalty in the third there cost them that goal.
Yeah,
I
and
think.
Saskatoon's power play has been good
Yeah.
as well. And then they pulled the goalie like, I don't know, was it 3+ minutes?
Yeah, it was like almost 4 minutes or
It's
something
almost
like that.
four,
It
yeah.
was
And they had some chances. Like they basically had it in Saskatoon's end for the first 3 minutes.
oh
They
yeah.
just couldn't score, and then they got the empty netter
Yeah, he just grabbed the puck and just fired it down and
right
just
from the corner. Yeah.
yeah.
So
I don't think he was even trying to hit the net, but he just fired it down.
yeah, no. So that was unfortunate, but I mean, once you look at it, it's a decent stretch of 4 games. Like we said, upcoming is going to be tough. So I mean, they played, I say, fairly well in all 4 games. I think, as an overall kind of thought.
Yeah, the only game I was kind of disappointed was part of the Swift Current game, but otherwise, a couple of lulls in the Edmonton game, really good against Red Deer. Sunday, they were tired. They had spurts and spells. They had the bad opening because definitely tired, whatever. But can't complain about the week.
Yeah, no, not at all. So
5 of 8 points. It's respectable.
yeah, definitely. I mean, like I keep saying, you got to be over 500. Got to just kind of stay over that, right? They gotta start making up some ground. You know, they're only 7th in the conference. So they're sitting in a playoff spot, but you know, not by much, right?
Yeah, there's lots of give there, I think, for lots of teams.
Yeah, you look at Moose Jaw, Calgary, Lethbridge, Regina. They're all at 20, 21, 22 points. They're all close there.
Yeah.
They're kind of right in that middle tier. But I mean, it's gonna be tough here, this road trip, and then you lose Bedard and Svozil and
possibly
Suzdalev for a bit. Probably, I'm sure he'd go to at least a camp.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, Bedard's just been so hot. Like, the guys, I think he's just, like I said earlier before we started recording, he's just kind of carrying on from last season. Like, he didn't score in the first game, and that's it. He's just been rolling, right? Like, he's leading every stat in the league.
Goals, assists, points. 19-game point streak. That's wild.
Yeah, right. Like, he's 10 clear of Cohen Zimmer of Prince George for points, and shots obviously are just crazy, but he's scoring. So
130 shots. That's an amazing number.
And then when you said Olin Zellweger of Everett, the defenseman, is second in shots in the league, I was like, pardon? That's an interesting stat. You don't see many D-men. You know, you see the odd D-man up there, but second in the league, that's
a lot of shots.
That is, right? Yeah. Nice to see Howe kind of in that Red Deer game get back on it. He hasn't scored in a while. That was nice to see him heating up. Suzdalev's really kind of picking it up. Did they credit Armstrong with that goal on the score sheet? On the Suzdalev's shot? Yeah.
Yeah. They changed it.
Yeah. Okay. That's what we thought. But
Suzdalev has 12 points in his last 6 games?
Yeah, there we go.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
After being kind of hit or miss, you get a point here, point there, point here, point there.
Yeah. You never know with those imports when they first come over, right? They're always going to be. They're not going to just hit the ground running. There's so much adjustment coming here.
Yeah, now I think they got a role for him. He knows his role. He's going to be a scorer. He's not going to be a penalty kill guy or anything like that. But
no,
he's got 10 goals and 29 shots, which is pretty wild.
That's pretty efficient.
That's very, very efficient.
You know, one thing in that Red Deer game, keeper, like, yeah, he was the first star in that game, second star,
first star.
I mean, he had a good game. Like, you know, 6'2", you think, okay, yeah, someone's offensive guy is going to get first star. But I, like, even in the middle of the game, I'm like, he's having quietly a good game. He made some big stops here. You know, Red Deer had quite a bit of shots, but they didn't have a ton of, like, quality chances either. But when they did have a chance, I think it was 2-1, and I can't remember who was coming in on breakaway, shorthanded even, and he made a big save. Like I could have been like the turning point right there of the game.
Yeah, he was good. New pads, new style, new goalie maybe.
Yeah, after the game, Rob Benstone asked him about, oh, is it the new pads? Like, do you need new pads every game? He's like, maybe.
The Pattsboro shot 27-13 in the second and third period against Red Deer. I didn't realize that until now. I knew it was quite a difference, but it was over 2-1.
Yeah, they only put up 2 in the third.
Yeah.
But when it's 6-1 at that point, they're sitting back a little bit, right?
Yeah, and the top guys weren't really playing as much.
A ton, yeah.
You get the third and fourth liners out there quite a bit. They get some minutes, get some opportunities.
Yeah. And then another thing with Keeper, I'm gonna play a clip of his coming up, but him and Sim have they worked together in the off season. He said that he also picked up a mental performance coach as well, and then him and Sim got together on a couple occasions to work out and do stuff. And he's like, yeah, no, it's a friendship between us. Like, we're there to make each other better, right? Like, it's a competition, yes, but we're on the same team, so we're competing against each other to make each other better, and that's what you need, kind of thing. Like, you need teammates to help you get better, right?
Yeah, for sure. Help build each other up.
Definitely. So,
and when you see those little videos that they show, like who's going to survive a zombie apocalypse, they're usually together or they're talking about each other. It's kind of neat.
Yeah, you kind of need that. You can't have two guys that hate each other or something, and
yeah,
it goes against the work effort and the team as a goal, right? So I'm going to play a little clip here from Matthew, and I thought it was pretty good insight on kind of what he did in this offseason as well.
Drew really talked about mental side of the game this offseason to bring his game back to the level where he wants it. What did you work on this offseason?
Yeah, I'd say just that too. I'd like to add to that me and Simmer kept in contact pretty closely all summer, and we actually met up this summer. And when we talked, we both improved our mental game this summer. And I'm working with a mental performance coach now. I got in touch with him last February, and I feel like he's been life-changing for me. And he's along with my goalie coach. I feel like a mental performance coach is just important. And yeah, it's been life-changing for sure. Well, I'd definitely call it a friendship. I'd say me and Simmer are really close, and every day when we get to the rink, we always have a plan to get each other better. And it's nice when your goalie partner is your best friend and you can trust him and rely on him and talk to him about anything. So I feel like me and Drew have that relationship, and it's good that we're both playing up to the standards we know we can play at, and it's just really good that our team as a whole, we're all performing at our best and we're being able to win some hockey games.
Looking ahead, we've mentioned it a couple times. Winnipeg, 2 games. Like, this is going to be
Not
real
looking
tough.
forward to it.
You see Red Deer go in, arguably the hottest team, if not, between them and Winnipeg handled them pretty handily.
3-1 and 7-4.
Yeah, like that second game, 7-4. That's a statement against quote unquote the number 1 team in the country.
Well, they were the CHL number 1 team going into that.
Yeah. I mean,
that 2-game series.
You can think whatever you want of those rankings, but
yeah, for sure. That's why I said CHL ranked.
Yeah, I said quote unquote the number 1 team.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
who makes those rankings? I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah.
They were hot though, 15-0.
Oh, you can't argue them for being number 1, right?
Yeah.
Like Winnipeg was what they had 1 loss, right? Like,
yeah.
So 1 loss between the 2 teams. They're roughly 30-1 between the 2 of them, and so I thought it was gonna be some good games. And I thought the attendance wasn't good when I seen some pictures of the game. I was kind of shocked by that. I mean, it was midweek, but
still,
yeah,
still though. Their
That's
place
tough.
only holds 1,600 some people.
Like, it should be full, packed.
Yeah.
Right? That was kind of surprising.
Like even on Saturday, they didn't even have a sellout. They only had 1526 out of their 1621.
Yeah. So I wonder, I mean, it sounds like ticket sales are going pretty good for the Pats West Coast road trip. I wonder if the Pats can draw some fans into Winnipeg coming up here. It's a Thursday, Saturday, so at least, later in the week and a weekend game that maybe that should draw a sellout. Like, you'd think.
It's only 1621, so
I know.
Hopefully.
Right? Like, it's Winnipeg. Like, they've got what, 700,000-800,000 people in that city,
It's
and they can't
a big city,
and they can't get 1,600 to a top quality hockey team.
Yeah, it's I don't know what the answer is or what, but
Yeah. But
7:05 and 8:05 starts, so that's different too.
yeah, 8:05 and on Saturday. Well, they had
Yeah.
8:30.
Yeah, they had that 8:30 game the other night.
Yeah, so they've had some odd starts. Maybe the Bisons had to play, the men's or women's team had to play earlier, had to get into two games that night or something.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. So, one other thing I forgot to mention: Corbin Vaughn back Saskatoon game, so he's back there, and then Jackson, I assume, will be back from under 17s for this for these games in Winnipeg.
I would assume so. Yeah, it
So-
makes sense. He'd be back because that tournament's over. So
Yeah. So the team's pretty much it's getting pretty full. There's going to be a couple guys sitting now.
yeah,
Every
they're
game,
gonna have a bunch of players, extra guys. So they're gonna have to do something. I'm assuming they're gonna do a move or two because they have what, 8 defensemen still.
Yeah.
So now that Vaughn's back, hopefully he doesn't get suspended again. So got a couple guys that need to play somewhere.
Yeah.
Both
They can't.
Both 17.
Right. Yeah. They need to be playing. They can't just practice is practice. Yeah, sure, but yeah, they need to be playing some minutes. Yeah, you think Herman maybe and Plaisir both get sent down somewhere? I mean, Herman did have a stint in Yorkton. I think that's more of a conditioning stint, but be interesting because I think Vaughn is clearly the guy ahead of them, even though
Yeah,
they're older.
they'd have to keep one of them because that would make them 6 defense because they'd have to keep one of those 2 guys.
Right? Yeah, yeah. Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, you need to have one here. So
And well, neither one of them really plays a ton, so I don't know who would
Yeah,
have the
right.
favorite role or whatever. So
yeah, it's tough to say. But yeah, up front you're gonna have a couple guys sitting every game now. With Vaughn back and Rowan back from injury, who hadn't seen him in a while. Mind you, Chance is out. Spencer's been out for a couple games, so he was just illness. So hopefully he's back for this Winnipeg set.
yeah, that'd be nice. They need a little extra offensive skill up there.
Yeah, I think he'll fit in nicely on that second line with Suzulev and whoever they've got up the middle, either Rowan or Whitehead there. So, in kind of other news, in the division, Moose Jaw getting Ryder Korzak back from New York.
Yeah, the
Rangers?
Rangers camp.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in
Rangers.
he was in their AHL team. He only played a handful of games there.
Yeah, so I don't think anybody's expecting him back. So
I
now-
wasn't. No, I wasn't at all.
I mean, Moose Jaw had 320s already. They picked up Riley Janelle from Brandon, so they thought they were set. But I mean, they're not going to say no to him coming back.
Definitely not. He's gonna help them a lot.
Yeah, I think Riley Janelle's kind of the odd man out there. He only has 1 goal so far this season.
Yeah, I would assume that would be the move because Jordan's I think a key cog on defense and their starting goalie is an overage, so or
Yeah,
a
he's-
20-year-old.
He's not going anywhere.
Don't see that happening.
And then Edmonton, their fire sale continues. They moved Jakub Demek to Kamloops. But I mean, when you're getting first round picks for these guys, Edmonton's going to be, yep, take whoever you want. We'll take all your picks at
Yeah.
this stage in the game.
For sure, and Demek's not even healthy.
Healthy,
He's
yeah.
out for a little while yet. I'm not even sure how long, but he's out for a couple more months, I believe.
Oh, really? Is it that long?
I think so. Yeah, I think he's around a trade deadline time for being healthy. So
Oh, so I just looked at the weekly report here. He's indefinite.
Yeah, that's I heard that he was supposed to be back around trade deadline time.
Okay, I didn't even realize that. Wow. So that's kind of a risky trade for Kamloops. Like
Well, they probably have some knowledge that he will be back eventually. So
for sure.
the dude is pretty talented. He had 20 goals last year, so
Yeah.
20 goals in 55 games, and he is only 19. But they got a lot for him: a first, a fourth, and 2 conditionals, like a second and third conditional pick. Like that's a pretty big trade.
Yeah, definitely. And that's their second first round pick they've picked up this week. So I think they would have really liked Gunther back just for the haul they could have got for him.
I couldn't imagine what they would have got for him. That would have been pretty wild.
Yeah. But yeah. So bringing it back to the Pats, some other news, Pats related. If you haven't been on the website in a while, check it out, because now there's a new record book on the website, courtesy of Kevin Shaw. He worked on it quite extensively, and it's a great looking piece.
Yeah, thank you. Dante got a hold of me this summer, and we discussed it, and he did the design. I gave him the info, and yeah, put it together, found out it was on the website. I didn't even know it was there. Dante's like, oh yeah, it's been there for a while. It's like, thanks for telling me. It's one of those buried tabs, but hey, I'm glad it's up there. And if you do download it and you see anything or have any questions, follow the instructions, email me. Be awesome. If you have any information that I might be interested in, let me know. I'm willing to listen.
Yeah, any information that you can find out is good, right? Because you pretty much have most of it. I'm not gonna say you have all of it, but you have a lot, right?
Oh, I have a lot, and I'm always looking for more. I'm always finding different tidbits out and stuff like that. So there may be corrections. There's stuff that I might not have correct. I go by what I read. Not the paper is not always right. The newspapers aren't always right. So yeah, you never know. Like if you find, maybe people know people that played for the Pats or whatever, and I don't have their information. I'm trying to compile as much as I can, and if I can get that, it'd be awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so check that out under the media tab on the Pats homepage, right there, third one down, record book. So yeah, it looks real good. Yeah, you guys both did a great job on it. So,
well, thank you.
One other thing, this happened a while ago, but Bedard, I mean, like, he's talk of the hockey world, right? But he got to actually shout out on, pardon the interruption, the sports talk show on ESPN. So I was gonna play that clip, and I thought that was kind of. I was listening to it. You know, I listen to it every day, and it's like, oh. What? They're talking about Connor Bedard? I mean, they don't say much, but they shout out his name. So I thought that was kind of cool.
San Jose Sharks have started the season 0-5. Cause for concern?
Well, they may be tanking. I have 2 names they could be tanking for. Victor Wembanyama, of course, but an actual hockey player named Connor Bedard. They might be tanking for him.
But yeah, so that's that. Anything else you got? I mean, Winnipeg, what do you expect here? Like, can we get a point or 2 would be, I mean, to get 2 points out of Winnipeg would be real tough. I don't know.
Do I have to predict? Because the
No,
Pats
you don't
haven't
have
beat
to.
Winnipeg. They haven't beat Winnipeg since they moved to Winnipeg. So
the bar is pretty low.
They're on a 13-game winning streak. They're 18-1 on the season. I don't say the bar is pretty low. I don't expect much. I just hope they're close games. If the Pats win, awesome. Like if they win one, they get a point, awesome. But I don't expect much, because Winnipeg is Winnipeg, and they're flying.
Yeah, they look good.
Can't even describe 18-1. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, definitely. So, well, I think with that, unless you have anything else, we'll wrap it up.
Well, what about a shout out to Dante's color man for the last few games there?
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. That's why I asked. Yeah, I shouted out on Twitter. He did a great job. Like I said, it sounded like he's been around the league / team for years. But he does he does play-by-play, so he knows the drill. And yeah, I thought he was outstanding.
He sounded like a professional.
Yeah,
sounded like that's his job, and I guess it really is his job in Ottawa there.
But yeah, like even his knowledge, obviously Dante's filled him in with lots of information, and yeah, he was really good. So I enjoyed that. Okay, we better throw out his name. We kind of both skirted skirted his name because we're not 100% sure how to say it. Dante said it so fast on the radio. David DeCipio, I believe. I apologize if that's not right. But
yeah, we probably butchered that a little bit, but
yeah, I mean, yeah, he was good. You can check him out on Twitter at ddecipio8.
DDISIPIO8 on Twitter.
He works with the Ottawa Junior Senators. I think they're Junior A, and then the Ottawa 67s of the OHL as well. So, yeah, he was awesome. It was good to see he was here for, I don't know, about 5 games. All right, so that's it for tonight then, Kevin? That's all you got?
I think so. It was a busy week. Looking forward to next week. Hopefully get something good to talk about.
Yeah, like I said, some good performance at least, right?
Yeah, make it close. If they win, great. If not, make it close. Make it worth
watching.
Make it worth us watching. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe they get some confidence with that Red Deer game. Saskatoon wasn't terrible. Maybe they can take something away that they can, put up a good fight in Winnipeg. So
yeah, they get a couple days to rest, so give them a chance to reload or whatever.
Yeah. Well, with that, we'll wrap it up, and we won't see at the rink for a while, not till December 10th. That's going to be Teddy Bear Toss, so we'll throw that out there. Yeah, so enjoy the games online. Have a good night, folks.
Have a good one, everybody.